Hey there guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another lesson video. We are multitasking like crazy today. I'm exporting a video, mixing a song, and I was like, you know what? Let's shoot a guitar video. So today I have something that's really cool. It's an idea I had a few days ago about being creative with arpeggios. So I have 3 examples for you. Hope you guys like them. And as always, let's cut the talk and let's get to the rock. Number 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and break the lick down. So this one is based off of a C major shape. It's a very common one, but I wanted to take it, tweak it a little bit, and give it a little bit more flavor. So here's the one that I'm basing this off of. Very nice sounding arpeggio. The only thing I don't really like about it at the moment is it's very kind of vertical and boxy. So I want to have a more horizontal approach to playing, and I really love the sound of an arpeggio with that rolling kind of sound to it. So what we're going to do is, basically it's kind of in fourths. We're going to go 10 hammer on 15 on the A string, then 14 on the D, followed by 12 on the G. That's our first little section. Now you notice I'm using my ring finger here. Normally I'd be kind of like a stickler for using the pinky, but it's going to set myself up nicely here in a minute for some of these other patterns that I have to do. So next you can use your ring finger on 15 on the A, followed by 14 on the D again, 12 on the G, with a hammer onto 17. Okay, so we have that much of it. Now we're going to go to 14 on the D with our middle finger, then 12 hammer on 17 again. Now here I'm going to add 15, which is indeed not part of C major, it's a ninth. So we're kind of like a C add 9 at this point. But that's still cool. We can always add notes that aren't necessarily strictly in the scale, because if I add a 17, I have another E note coming up here. It would kind of make it sound a little bit funky. So, okay. Now next you're going to play 17 again. I'm sorry, 12 hammer on 17, then 15 on the B, and 12 on the high E string. There's that E note I was talking about. So as far as the descending part of this lick, we're going to start all the way up here at 17, pull off 12 on the high E string. You notice we're just kind of going to walk down backwards. So we have that, then we're going to go to 15 on the B, followed by 17 on the G. Okay, now next is going to be 12 on our high E string, followed by 15 on the B, and then 17 pull off 12 on the G. So next is 15 on the B with your ring finger again, 17 pull off 12, 14 on the D, so there's our next 4. Okay, then we're going to go, so 17 pull off 12 again, followed by 14 on the D, 15 on the A. Okay, now next is 12 on the G, 14 on the D, 15 on the A. Now I am going to add 12 here on the A string, which is a 6th, and I'm adding it literally just for convenience. It's going to still sound good, but you know, we are adding a 6th. So, and then next is we're going to play 14 on the D, 15 on the A, 12 on the A again, slide down to 10, okay, and you're going to play 12 on your low E string, and I'm just ending on 8 on the low E, but you can easily end on any C note anywhere. So that whole lick played all together real nice and slow would be like this. Alright, so here's example number 2, played up to speed. Okay, so let's kind of break this lick down. Now what I was thinking behind this one was I wanted to do something that was simple but had a big sound to it. So a lot of people, when they think of arpeggios, we all kind of think of the you know, the real lightning fast arpeggios, and they're really, really cool, and you see people like Jeff Loomis pulling them off like it's nothing. But for us humans, we need to kind of build our way up to them. So 2-string arpeggios are a great way to do this. But we don't want to just sit here and do this all day. Sounds cool, but we want a little bit more out of it. And a lot of people want to go straight for, say, 6-string arpeggios. If your guitar has 6 strings, if it has 7, 8, or 9, then I am out of luck with those. But so what I thought was, how can I, combine the both of them? 2-string arpeggios, 6-string arpeggios. So what I came up with was basically a group of 2-string arpeggios that went across all 6 strings. And the concept is very, very simple because it relates to something that in our minds is easy to do, 2-string arpeggios. So real nice and slow, what I'm doing is this. So what's happening here is it's kind of just based off of a C major scale, but if we really wanted to dissect it, there's quite a few different arpeggios happening here. So the first one is basically just a D minor. Next one, starting on our G note, there's our G major, there's a C major, and we could go through them all if we wanted to, but it's not necessarily important. The group as a whole kind of turns into this real nice little flowing guitar run, and it's just using our 2-string arpeggios. So the first one is 10 on the low E string. Now what I do next is I go to 8 on the A and hammer on to 12. Okay, now next I go to 10 on the A string, and then I go 9 hammer on 12, then 10 on the D string, and then I go to the G, 9 hammer on 12. Okay, so let's recap. We have this. Now next is you're going to go to 10 on that G, and then your finger's going to slip off and make a giant ugly sound like mine did. But hopefully not. And then you're going to go to the B string, and you're going to do 8, hammer on 12. And then last but certainly not least, we're going to go to 10 on the B, and then 8, hammer on 12 again, and then back to our 8 again in our root note. So if you notice, we used 2 basic shapes there. We did a minor shape and a major shape. And I'll talk about those in just a second. So one more time through the whole thing slow would be this. So that's our minor shape. It's a major shape. Another major. There's a minor. Not quite a minor, but we won't get into the theory at this point. So then we have another minor one right here. Kind of ending on an A minor. And that is pretty much it for that lick. So let's move on to example number 3. Okay, so on to example number 3. So this one is one I'm really excited about because it's going to give you guys the opportunity to create your own arpeggios. And what a lot of people might not realize is basically your whole chord vocabulary that you have is a giant book of arpeggios just waiting for you to figure them out on the guitar neck. And this is why it's so important to know all of your notes on the guitar neck. It's really just priceless information. Not what I'm telling you, but you know, knowing the notes. I will always be thankful that my guitar teacher made me learn this. So let's kind of come down here and take an A major chord. So that's a pretty simple one. But we don't want to use an A major because this is about being creative. So what we're going to do is turn it into an A sus2. So what we have to do is take our third, which is our C sharp note, and we're going to drop it to a B, turning it into a second. So there is now our A sus2 chord, which is open A string, 2 on the D, 2 on the G, open B, and open high E. So where did we figure this one out? Up here, because we don't want to just play it down here. Okay, so let's remember what I said. We have to take all of our C sharps and move them down to Bs. So let's come up here to a normal A major shape, and this is where I'm going to be wheeling around in the chair a little bit for you. So we're going to go like this. Now this is just kind of your standard A major. I am starting on an E note here, so I'm going from 7 to 12, which is an E to an A. Now normally on A major you would go to 11 on the D, but that's our C sharp that we got to avoid. So we're going to have to drop this one back to a B. So a B note's right there just waiting on us. Okay. Now next is we're going to go to another E note. So that's going to be a 9 on the G. Now next is another A note for us, which is always good to end on an A. But here's the trick. So we have an A note on 10th fret of the B. Now here again, why is that pesky C sharp that we got to avoid? But right back here, oh, it was another B. So it works out really nice this way. So, okay. Now next is you're going to reach up here to 12 on the high E. Pull that one off. Back to 10 on the B. 9 on the G. 9 on the D. 12 on the A string, then I'm just going back to 7, and as always, in on a root note somewhere. So real nice and slow, it is this. Which is a very nicely voiced arpeggio. I love the way suspended arpeggios sound. So And it has a little bit more life to it than kind of our standard C major arpeggio. Now you could do this with anything. You could take an F chord, again I'm wheeling in the chair, and say you're tired of doing F. So let's add, let's just add the 7th. So we're going to turn it into an F major 7 by simply unbarring our index finger and adding that E note. So your next job would be to come up here and figure out all of the notes that make up an F major 7. Now that one's a little bit more because you get to have your 1st, 3rd, 5th, and then 7th. But that's the general idea behind it. So that is example number 3. All those tabs can be found over on the Facebook page if you guys want to have them up on the screen. But that is going to do it for today. Okay, well that is going to wrap it up for today's video lesson. I really hope you guys got something out of it. I think it's a cool approach to arpeggios, and hopefully it gives you some of your own ideas. Like I said, if you guys wanted the tabs are over on the Facebook page. That way if you want to have it up on the screen by you or something like that, you can totally have those. And my hands are going crazy for some reason. So that will do it for today. If you guys would, hit that like button. You can share this video to help promote the channel. As always, you can subscribe. And that is going to do it. I will see you guys next time. Keep on rocking and play something cool. Like what I'm going to attempt to do right now.